to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the early cycle versus late cycle, right? So could this be actually an early cycle economy, an early cycle in crypto because of the things that happened in the last year a little bit differently? There is some evidence that supports that, and this I want to discuss today so that we have the full picture. Even though we might not take this as our thesis, it is good to see that in case that we see that Bitcoin is just going in its parabolic move and doesn't stop in the end of the year. We should be aware of that. And also that would have serious implications for the altcoins, because that would mean that altcoins are creeping around at bottom levels and not like a diminished return altcoins where everyone is sad about. So maybe there is some truth to this. So let's look at this. And also we will have important voices like Tom Lee and also Coinbase regarding this situation. So let's stay together here all the way through, and we're also going to look a little bit into the NFT sphere with Ecomi. So make sure to stay all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. And actually also here in Bitcoin, we have something really nice unfolding, which if it were like I drew it in here with an inverse head and shoulders, we just got ourselves the breakout and a back test that is going on right now, slightly in the red, just sitting under 117,000 per Bitcoin here in this picture. And if that was the case, then this would propel us back to a new all-time high, actually, as the measured move of this is roughly 125,000 and something. So if the retest here is successful and complete, we can expect in already maybe tomorrow and into the next week, Bitcoin rising. And by the way, Bitcoin has its best September in history. Best September ever, which could also be a little bit of a front run of the gains that are coming in October and maybe November. So let's see how this plays out. But it could also show that we are just in a massive bullish cycle. I mean, we see it here. Many of the months that have been traditionally more red have ended up in the green. April green, May green, June, July green. August was negative, as August is actually now becoming the new red month, as we do see it here, right? So maybe next cycle already we will talk about how August is a really bad month, and then it's not rectangle anymore. Maybe we do see more like green out of September, October, November, right? So let's talk about how this could be actually here an early cycle and not a late cycle. And for that, to smash up the like button, guys, already. So we do have here Julian Bittel, and he is working together with Raoul Pal, coming out and saying, hey, according to the GMI Bitcoin Cycle Top Finder, we are not even close to a top. In fact, we would be in early stages, and this massive move where the spike happens, is not here, right? We do see that one time in history in the last cycle we had a double spike, and but never have we been topping out with a index so low as it is here. So we are looking more at a situation like here and waiting for the spike. So that could be something where we say, okay, maybe there is way more gas left in the tank than we usually expected, right? And that also, he discusses it a little bit more in more detail here, based on unemployment rate and so on. So he says, for starters, unemployment keeps grinding higher, exactly as our lead indicators and GMI MIT work flagged back in Q1. That keeps the Fed engaged and is why, as noted, he makes videos, or they make videos about this, right? As noted in the videos, the market has started pricing in a higher probability of cuts at the September, October, and December meetings. US unemployment is now at 4.3%, right on the Fed's low estimate for 2025, as we do see here, right? It drifts toward 4.5 or 4.6 as the lead indicator suggests. That's a green light for more cuts in 2026, even though there are early signs the unemployment cycle has already turned up. More on that in a moment. At the same time, unemployment breadth peaked over a year ago and continued to fall in August. Quantitatively, this is a good sign. The index rises into recession, it doesn't fall. So no recession, instead the index turned around. Interesting, right? So we are getting rate cuts, not in recession, okay? We peaked last June at 92%, but it has since dropped to 62% of US states reporting a year-on-year rise in unemployment. Now take a look at this chart. This index tracks weekly overtime hours in the most cyclical parts of the US economy with data back to the 1950s. Every recession has come when it rolls over toward -2 standard deviation level, and we are nowhere near that. So -2 is down here and we are up there, right? So additionally, the August data showed a further pickup in overtime hours, which, as I have been highlighting in these reports, so not me, but Julian Bitte, right? So follow this guy. I think the analysis is spot on. It's very good. Is much more consistent with an early cycle economy trying to build momentum than anything else. This is exactly why S&P earnings revisions keep exploding higher, just as we've been expecting here, right? S&P, bam, a big fat boost in the earnings. The Fed is cutting rates right up as the business cycle is turning up. That's hugely bullish for risk assets. There aren't late cycle recession cuts. There are early cycle insurance cuts. Two different things. So the theory here is that the end of the waiting room is near. So the theory here is that we are, based on this cutting cycle, somewhat delayed, and that there's an early cycle going on, right? Which would be crazy because we've never seen that before, right? By the way, where is my... Oh, here we go, right? There is the other one. Does the global economy index, the GEI, right? So the other one was the GMI, but this is the global economy index, signal an early cycle environment. So here's global economy index. We do have the pandemic here, right? So these are all the previous cycles. They are all in line. But now we had a mini cycle between late 22 and early 25. Unlike previous cycles where GEI peaked at 2, we saw the GEI there peak at 0.5 in its mini cycle, comes back down and starts a new cycle. So if we transport that with the global economy index peaking mid-term, coming all the way back and coming back up at our Bitcoin chart, well then, what does it mean for us? Well then, that would mean that we had, maybe we did have this long, you remember this long grind, like 7 months downturn where people claimed also that the cycle has ended and so on. If that was the mini cycle with this 300% rise, we basically went into a mini bear market based on that. So this what was in the beginning of 2025 basically, which would be here, right? Somewhere here. Then and now we're early cycle again. Well, then that would be crazy, right? If somewhat these corrections are bear market style, that would be really, really crazy, guys. So if you believe that, smash up the like button. If you disagree, also smash up the like button, because smashing up the like button is the most important thing. I would appreciate if we could get today, also the ones that watch this later, we could today get to 60 likes at least. That would help the channel tremendously. That would be a good target. So if you're joining this, if you're seeing this, then make sure to smash the like button here. We want to see as much like as we possibly can. It is basically you're saying, hey, someone else should also watch this right now. Because if you don't smash the like button, then the YouTube algorithm says that's not worth watching, right? And maybe you feel that way, but then, okay, I can't do anything about that right now. Very quick look. And it's already working, guys. The like button smashing is already working. We jumped from 19 to 23 people here in an instant. So it's already working. Do it. If that was true, and we are coming in an early cycle, or we are in an early cycle based on that, right? Somewhere from end of 2024 to right now, then that would mean that we have all this path in 26 to go, right? So it's a theory. It doesn't mean that it's coming true like that, right? But if we're looking at our indicators, basically nothing speaks against this except the TSI, right? And this is why I'm cautious, because the TSI, it doesn't mean that the TSI needs to be right 100%, but I'm cautiously looking at this only very small gap that is open here on the TSI, and maybe, but still, we could see like 2 very explosive months out of that, and then we would see how big the cycle is. By the way, the number is increasing, so everyone who just came in directly, smash the like button also. We jumped from 19 to 27 people based on your likes, guys, so it's the most important thing, as you can see, right? So you smash the like button, more people get recommended the stream. There we go. So let's listen to Tom Lee that also somewhat tells a story like this. So let's listen quickly here.
So let's bring in Tom Lee, not the drummer. Tom, what do you make? I mean, how much does the Fed really matter to the equity markets right now?
The Fed still matters a lot because they are the most powerful institution in the world. And it matters because monetary policy, relatively tight, has kept the ISM below 50 for 31 months. And so corporate America has operated with a bit of caution, keeping the car in low gear because they didn't know where inflation was going to be and they didn't know where monetary policy was. So I think when the Fed begins to ease, it's not just a move in interest rates, but it's a green light for corporations to get more confident. And as you know, the ISM moving above 50 does not only revive economic activity, it probably also rejuvenates the labor market, which has been sluggish for what looks like more than 12 months.
So does that mean if the Fed stays dovish or keeps cutting, that there's other newer legs to this pretty remarkable stock rally?
Yes, and I might even say that I think that we could have growth recover without inflationary pressures. I think reflexively, people the last few years think growth picking up means there's automatic inflation. That has not been the case for 25 years. But I think if companies begin to expand, plus the fact that we know AI is driving productivity gains, and that's really a big tailwind for businesses, and then we know that there's initiatives around Wall Street boosting productivity because they're going to build on the blockchain, I think there's a path for growth to be stronger next year without a pickup in inflation. That's going to be very good for profits and for equities.
Yeah, and listen, so let's bring in and
That basically was it. And I think the important part here was really that Tom Lee says, hey, it's not only a rate cut, like it's the green light for the economy to be more confident and to keep rolling. And that he expects that there's going to be more rate cuts and so on. It's going to be a good cycle for the economy. And that would mean so if there's really a difference between the art of rate cutting, so to say, right? And we do have a cycle where I think there is an indicator here. It's called Fed funds rate, right? Fed funds rate indicator. Okay. Why does it complain about it? I mean, I'm paying already the plan. Why doesn't it let me put more than 5 indicators when I'm already paying the plan? Fed funds rate indicator. There we go. So here, the Fed funds rate indicator, right? If we look at Bitcoin's history, I would say the situation that we have, we never had before, right? And that we should keep in mind. We look at Bitcoin's history, and here is the Fed fund rates, right? So we had rate hikes into pump. So rate hikes in itself, we know, are not an evil thing. We did have rate cut into pump as well. So also rate cut in itself is not the thing, right? But then also the theories of like, hey, could rate cuts cause economic dumps and so on. The problem is that the rate cuts that we had so far was rate cuts into recession, like sharp cuts to the downside. This time, it seems, based on everything that we've seen so far in the stream, that our rate cuts are not into recession, right? So we never had that before, because the rate cuts that we had here, these rate cuts were rate cuts to prevent recession or to prevent disaster in sea crisis, right? So the crisis, you see, the crisis would have started here and got immediately printed away, right? And then, based on all the history before, we basically don't really have rate changes, right? Because then the crisis before that was 2008 subprime crisis, Lehman Brothers, and the crisis before that was dot-com bubble, right? But both of them are without Bitcoin in existence. So we basically don't have Bitcoin data towards that. But also, that means that most people that are looking at Bitcoin right now, they only remember rate cut because of recession and crisis, right? Dot-com bubble, Lehman Brothers, and Corona crisis, right? So these things they know. This time we have rate cuts, but no black swan, no big bubble burst, nothing until now, right? We don't have it just yet. So this changes the game maybe a little bit. And this should make us at least cautious and open to theories like, hey, maybe we're in an early cycle environment, which would mean that that we might have more expansion in Bitcoin in front of us than we might believe at the moment, right? And we will follow this closely and then also readjust. If an indicator doesn't work for us, then we'll definitely throw it away. Another thing that we do have is, where's the channel tool? Let's check this out. I want the channel. Where is it? Wait a sec. It must be in the linears, right? Is that? Let's see if that works. No, that's the fib channel. Fuck. Okay, let's do it just with the rectangle. I have no idea how to do this, but let's do it with the rectangle. Oh, there we go. Okay. Basically, what I wanted to do here is to show. Can I still spin this? It says spinnable. Ah, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to highlight here a little bit what the structure is that we have here at our hands, right? It's basically a rising channel that is going on here with neither break to the downside nor upside, right? Maybe we have to mark this with lines also, right? You're moving in such a pattern like this, right? And that's how Bitcoin is moving at the moment. It's going to be interesting to maybe also watch, hey, what happens if that thing breaks, right? If this breaks to the downside, right? This channel, or are we going to pump up to the next one, because that would be at this overhead resistance already beyond 200,000 just staying in this channel, right? If we bounce here, because basically we are at the lower end of this channel, if you would want to see it like that. So that would be crazy. Guys, welcome with me, all the rare hodlers. We have Mewtwo in the house saying, good morning fam, we have Trucking Hank here. Good night. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone around the world. We also welcome everyone else, obviously. Divinder Singh, good morning to you. Awesomeness Redefined. We have PNR 1989. Hello, what's going on? And we have Jasper Frank in the house. Good to see you as well. Guys, it's the fucking Friday, and we are expecting Bitcoin to rise very, very soon, very, very strongly. So we should be excited about this. Fed funds rate, we can get rid of it. Those lines, do we want to get rid of them? I think for now, yes. We should observe this though. But otherwise, we just do have too many lines there, and that is definitely not helpful. Okay, so given that we're very likely going to go higher here, I think there's good things coming to the market as well. And we do have another Tom Lee, and this time we're going to talk about price targets. So check this out.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target?
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum it should have the same network value as gold. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, Bitcoin could be 2 million, 3 million long term. Even higher. 95% of all Bitcoin's been.
Yeah, and that is very true, right? So if we work on the assumption that Bitcoin is more valuable than gold, and if gold is now at what 26 trillion or so, but also we cannot forget, like, gold is not going to stay there. Gold is also growing, and then if you say, okay, but maybe we can make the assumption that at some point it's staying there because then people move from gold to Bitcoin or so. But overall, I would rather say no. Gold is going to double at some point, and then suddenly it's 50 trillion or so. But gold will catch up to the same amount at some point as gold is. Then you will have price targets like this. And if we say, okay, 3 million is not unrealistic price target for Bitcoin, and 200,000 this cycle is not unrealistic price target for Bitcoin, what does that mean for our investment thesis? It would mean that we could still, like, our investments could still double in the short term on Bitcoin. Then we imagine what can happen with altcoins on a market like that, because that would fuel probably very much the excitement. A sharp move always fuels excitement, right? But let's look at altcoins as well. We have IMX moving strong, as we have discussed before. We have Helium. So is that Helium? No, HTX. Sorry, it's not Helium. It's this is, I think, Huobi, right? Was Huobi exchange or something like that. Going up with Near Protocol 10%. Meme Core Pump and Mix correcting today. And some in the green like AVAX and Say and Curve DAO and Polkadot and so on. So a little bit mixed. On the week, it looks a little bit better, but still altcoins are waiting for the go signal. We do have an average 2%. We do have, I can see it already, there are some really degenerate coins pumping, but we do have Drift pumping hard. We do have Borg going up pretty good. We do have APX and AVNT doing multiples. So if you have these coins, congratulations. If you have those coins, congratulations to you. Don't forget to lock in profits. But yeah, and I mean, you have to see what that means, right? This thing is coming from 50 million and it's now 270 million. With a daily volume of 120 million, this just exploded, this thing. I don't even know what it is or does. Crazy, right? But this thing went up. This one is also, what is this? Zomi? It's Omi. Somnia is S-Omi. So maybe we can absorb something of that where people put the ticker. And then this also, what's going on? S-Omi and Omni. You take out one letter and it's Omi. But Omi doesn't want to appear yet on this. Yeah, so big fat moves out of those coins. We also do have big movers in the other brackets. Coins that just doubled, like XDog and F Sin Futures. There's another one with Omi. What is going on? Omikami. Amaterasu Omikami. What is that? 40 million valuation. Amaterasu Omikami. I mean, this basically for everyone who likes Naruto and Ecomi, right? I think that basically must be it. We do have Chris Klein here. Good morning, sir. Been a decent last 24 hours for crypto, I'd say. My trades are finally up again and doing decent, all except my 1000 Floki trade, but it's getting there. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for supporting me all the time. Chris, really cool. Congratulations, and let's have a look at Floki actually, while we are already talking about it. Just for you, we are going to look at Floki sitting at just under $1 billion. Did you see ZBCN? No, I don't think I did see it. Let's look at Floki. It seems that Floki has bounced quite nicely already months ago here on the support. Let's look at lower time frames. Well, I would say a nice sustainable uptrend with higher lows and higher highs. So according to this, I would say higher, right? Should be going higher. I mean, you have this trend. I would observe this trend. That would be right now at a quadruple 08958, the lower trend line, or 8896 rather, something like that. And yeah, should be bouncy, should be going up here very, very soon. So I'd say as long as this uptrend is intact, we are fine, we're good, right, for Floki, right? And then you like in this channel-ish structure, just broke above this bull market support band. So yeah, I'd say next target 00015. What is that in return? go revisiting the upside here, and then we see what it forms, like 50% move or so. That should be good, right? It was like 400% up. ZBCN. Thank you for looking at Floki. I named my cat after the coin, but Floki is a dog, right? Or not? Or is that a cat? I thought Floki is a dog. Why why did you name your cat after the dog? Yeah, but okay, maybe it's accepted among the other dogs right now because of that name. Floki cat. Maybe you can found Floki cat. I don't know. Maybe I'm watching this wrong, and this is like this Viking hat makes it seem like a dog, right? I don't know, but yeah. So far so good. Maybe you can buy another cat and call it Bonk. Like you should not have only one cat. Cat wants company, and then another one you call it Whiff. Put a hat on the cat. Let's look at this. ZBCN. Zebek Network. Okay, this was pumping. It's 352 million, almost triple this on the year. If Omi gets into double zeros, what's next level for resistance? Let's see Omi in a second. I don't know, man. I don't see this massive pump on ZBCN, to be honest. I don't see it here, what you're saying. Like, was it this wick to the upside? Can't be, right? I mean, ZBCN has been pumping way before. Yeah, that's true. But right now, I mean, it looks... You have this. Somewhat something like this going on, right? I would say this it could be something to observe on the upper trend line, lower trend line, right? Symmetrical triangle can break to both sides, but rather I'd say, hey, if this breaks, this could be a thing. I don't know if I'm looking at the right coin though, because right now we already have coins like that have the same names, right? Let's go to Ecomi, as so many people are already asking about it. We have Green Lantern in the house, also GMPH. Good morning, Hodler fam. Freaky Friday. Hit the like for nice weekend weather and green candles. Absolutely, smash the like button here. Once more, we have like 35 people watching, so that is essential. Question from Trucking Hank was, if Omi gets into double zeros, what's the next level of resistance? So right now we're in triple zeros and 0003. For us to get to double zeros, we need to get up here. And 001 will be the next major overhead resistance, right? We see it here. It has been massive resistance for a long time. We couldn't break it, so we need first the move up to 001, which would be a 200% move, and then we would be at around 001. If we break that and we find successful support on that, let's say we pump up here and then we find support, then the next overhead resistance is smaller one is already at 00186, which is these here, right? I would say noisy area, and then basically the way is open to 0025 and then to 007. I'd say there's not much more resistance than straight to 007 if that would happen. But first, let's get out of the slump. Let's get to 001. I expect heavy selling going on at this level just because everyone that is basically has been DCAing in this range will take profits here, at least from a trading perspective, right? There are a lot of people, of course, that will hold more than that. But I think Omi might have a move fairly soon to the upside, just because there's still much room on the RSI and so on the weekly. let's look at it also on the daily. It seems really that seller exhaustion is happening here. We might see a move in the next week or so. Good would be if we curve like this and have a pump to the upside or something like that. Form some nice bullish chart pattern here on the daily. That would be amazing. Let's see. Floki comes from Rafna Floki, which is considered to be the first Viking to discover Iceland back in the 800s. As an Icelander, I know my country's history. Hence, the Viking that on the hat on the crypto coin means raven Floki in English. Anyways, back to crypto. Hey, thank you very much for that very interesting history lesson. I thought so. That's why they made basically Floki going to Iceland in the Vikings series, right? And that's really cool, man. I really like that, and I did not know actually that you are like from Iceland, Icelandish. So Mewtwo from Iceland, the Raven Floki. That's interesting, but why? Very interesting. They could have taken a Raven, but the Raven is not the meme, so that's why they didn't do it, right? Protagonist says a zero recovery. Good if it's recovering. Chris says, just wanted to let you know I probably won't be around for a while. Things have gotten rough and I kind of have to go away for a while. My fiancé will still watch though, either on my or her name. Just wanted to let you know. Don't want to just disappear. Thank you very much for letting me know. And yeah, of course, man. If things are rough, get things in order. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this channel or anything. Like things need to be good. Need to be in order. If I have trouble, I also don't come online and stream. I mean, it's what we have to do. But be assured, man. Everything will be fine. Whatever it is, everything will be fine. Like there's nothing. The important thing is, man, that you come back, right? The important thing is that you come back. Everything will be fine. And yeah, I hope that you can sort things out fairly soon. But on the other side, like, this is also important. Whatever is happening, like finance and so on, our society has a way of pressuring people in a very weird way about finances. Like finance is the most important thing in a certain way in our society, but actually it's not, right? If you look at people, like any person that has a health problem, they don't give a fuck anymore about their financial problem. Then they have a health problem, right? And no, all other problems disappear. So whatever financial problem you have, like, there are people that went like into bankruptcy like 5, 6, 7 times. Nothing happens, to be honest. Like they go into bankruptcy and that's it. Nothing happens in that sense, right? It's not like even some people argue it's better to go into bankruptcy than fucking around with like a huge amount of debt, right? So whatever it is, it can be sorted out one way or the other, right? So yeah, just don't do anything stupid, like right? Don't if so, like call help immediately if anyone feels that way. But it's not worth because of finances. Okay. Happy Friday, PH. Bernard Johnson, good to see you as well. Bringing the coffee to the stream. I think this is maybe to continue this topic a little bit more, because I think it's so important, right? We always see like these green bubbles, and we dream of becoming rich and moving forward in life and so on. And some people feel that they have to do it all in one step, right? Everyone feels like they have to get rich or sort things out in one step. That's not how things are working. But crypto somehow promises this with this green god candle, and then someone who is suddenly rich and has everything, right? And everyone has the FOMO that the time is now. Listen, there are always opportunities. Like before crypto, there were opportunities in the stock market. Now there's crypto, and there are going to be 3-4 cycles where you can make as much money as possible, right? Just take the cycle to learn, don't overextend. There is no urge to do everything now. Just don't wreck yourself right now. See how it goes. Maybe make a little money or so on this. There is another full cycle to. You don't have to buy things now on credit or anything in crypto, because there will be another bear market. There will be another cycle. You will be having good entries, and then you know exactly what's happening, right? Then you will know that Bitcoin absolutely oversold, everyone fudding. That's a good entry, right, for Bitcoin. It will come again. There will be a new FUD will be invented. We don't have to do everything right now. Okay, it never is, right? I mean, people are becoming billionaires by founding companies. That doesn't mean that you have to sell your house and a kidney tomorrow to found a company, right? But you can think about it, and you can plan it out, and you can start small and slowly, right? But you don't have to. Like, FOMO is never good. Like, if you feel FOMO, stay away. Stay away from keyboard, computer, go into the nature, touch some grass, and then you come back, right? Never follow your FOMO. As we get older, pressure's higher, need dollar for retirement. Exactly, but the point is, maybe the FOMO is higher, but if you fuck up this because of unreasonable move, right? If you fuck it up, then your retirement will be way further away than if you only like maybe give it more time on Bitcoin. And there's an argument to be made also that we tend, like, you could focus on other things. Like, we tend to live longer if we focus on sports and on nutrition and mental health and so on. The possibility or the probability that we live more years with quality is higher, and in these more years the compound effects of our investments also can take place, right? And then there's the whole story of AI, where we cannot even see beyond the next 5 years, even not beyond the next 2 years probably. It's just we need to make it then to the next 5 years. Maybe the advancements of AI are going to prolong our lives by 30, 40, 50 years, maybe, who knows, right? And then we have way more time with our investments, right? So I think we need to really approach this in a balanced way. Let's see here. Thank you for kind words. I will definitely be back. Just going to be a little bit of time. It's not financial, and I can't really say why. You don't have to, man. Just be fine. That's all good. Trucking said that with the retirement. Mewtwo says, if you come out in profits after the cycle, please preserve your profits well. Don't throw it all away. It's hard-earned money. Yeah, I'm definitely in profit in the cycle because of Bitcoin, right? Because I have this heavy Bitcoin portfolio. With the altcoins only, we will see, right? Because also I made a lot of mistakes during that cycle, but I do think it will be fine with regards with how high the profits will be. And I think people, especially YouTubers, have a big problem talking about how big their profits were and if they even made any, right? Especially like YouTubers that are traders and so on. They always tend to say, if you don't make money in this cycle, no one can help you, blah, blah. Not true. There are many people that did not make money in the cycle. The more important thing is, if you did not make money in the cycle because this is your first cycle, then the question is, what did you learn, and will you apply it in the next cycle? Because then you will definitely make money in the next cycle, right? And that is the important thing. So you should not go bankrupt in this cycle, because you will have the chance in the next cycle to apply everything that you learned in this cycle. And then the question is, how big is your deficit, and could you see this as money that you invested for learning? Real talk, right? I mean, Bernard Don says, I'll be enjoying some profits and save the rest. So definitely, if you're looking at everything that's happening, not everyone can make money in this cycle. That's just not how it works, right? Not everyone can. Many people have to be backholders into the next cycle, and then there will be people that have made money, right? And this is precisely why we need to learn to take profits. For example, if you're in Borg and you're like up 200% or so, maybe it's time to take some profits, right? Who knows, right? But some people decide they will not do it. Mr. Wolf says, what do you think with options expiring today and the impact on the markets? Yeah, it's a good question. Like Friday options expiry with into a bullish market, we could see coins flying already, right? So I'd say also everyone, there are so many people that claim that they made tremendous amounts of money on social media, and it's the same like with, for example, with health and body on Instagram or so, right? Almost no one posts when they are in bad shape, or when they had a lazy day, or when they had a cheat meal, or when they fucked it up, or when they relapsed into an addiction or so. No one posts about that. People only post their successes, never their losses, okay? So, and I think that's very unhealthy for the whole social media scene, and I think that's also unhealthy for everyone watching, because then you get the impression everyone is successful all the time, right? I can tell you, my crypto portfolio is not like hundreds of X's or anything in the profit right now. Yeah, it's not. I can be very honest about that, because I also want to be better. Yeah. What is in profit is my Bitcoin. What is not in profit is collectively my altcoins. Not even in profit, right? But you see all these altcoins, like, why the fuck is my altcoins not in profit? Yeah. It's not. Like, if I look at everything, also the coins that imploded and went to zero, and I have this, and this is important, like, you have to have an honest crypto portfolio tracker, like on CoinMarketCap or wherever, where you put the honest purchase price of every coin, no matter what. Like, for example, if you scroll down the list, I will have a coin that is called Terra Luna, and it sits at 2 cents, but it was back then a couple of $100, right? So there's already a deficit of a couple of $100 that needs to be made up by other coins, right? And yes, there are also coins where I'm up like 1,000% or so, right? A 10x, like Render, for example. Yeah, and that maybe makes up for some other coin that is lost. But still, then you are on par. You're 0-0, right? So yeah, I would not say don't compare yourself to others in the sense that is more negative. Like, this guy is good, so I'm bad. That I would agree. But there are people that we can look up to because they're doing things right, and we can follow them for a time because they are a good benchmark, you know. And then we can compare ourselves to them, but rather in, are we doing the same things, and are we on a path of success looking upwards, right? And then at some point we have to walk our own way, right? So, but I agree with you, Mewtwo. That's one way to rob yourself of your own happiness. Very toxic. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, look at BitBoy Crypto. BitBoy Crypto is a very, very good example. BitBoy Crypto is a super example. If you had compared yourself to BitBoy Crypto back then when his channel was successful and he was driving Lamborghinis and so on, and you're like, I don't know, like, this guy came out of addiction and so on, he went there, he made money, and he told everyone how insanely good his moves are and so on, like, he made a lot of money with his YouTube channel. Don't forget that, right? But do you still want to be like him now that he was in jail? That is the question, right? Do you still want to be like that? And that doesn't mean that you don't want a Lamborghini. Of course we want to be rich, we want to have a Lamborghini, we want to have a house, we want to have a big tit wife, you know. Like, sure, we all want that, all of that, right? But the path usually is not one coin that does 1000x and then it's done, right? It's hard work. And also, I think that's where we listen. Like, I like to listen to all this, like to podcasts and audiobooks of entrepreneurs, and also to see like, it's okay to fail. We're trying things out. Every entrepreneur tried things out before they made it, right? They really fucked things up before. So we can make mistakes, but we need to learn from them, right? We can buy Terra Luna, like I did, for example. I bought Terra Luna, and it imploded. I lost money. Glad that it was only a couple of $100, but only because I didn't have that much at the time. But what are the lessons? I made a video 3 years ago already about this, what my lessons are from that. First of all, I bought it because an influencer said it's good buy. It's a good buy. It's going to, I don't know where. It was already like $70 or so. It's going to go to hundreds of dollars. Okay, I bought it. Secondly, I didn't understand it. Even when I had it, I didn't understand it. How does the algorithmic stablecoin of Terra Luna really work? Can this work? And there were people that say it doesn't work, it will end badly. There were people saying that, right? But I didn't listen. I had a bullish only bias, right? And then the third was that I didn't take profit because I went into Terra Luna at, I don't know, it's like it was a DCA, so several times I bought. And I was at some point up more than 100%. And I did not, my rule was when I'm up 100%, I take out my initial investment. I did not follow the rule because I was looking at this small bag of couple of $100 and saying, but it could 10x. And then it's really good, right? It could 10x. Had I taken out my initial investment, I could right now not give a damn about the other one implode, right? Of the other part implode. But I didn't do it. Yeah. PH the philosopher, thank you. Agree, I was on Luna at as well, $98, lost loads. When I doubled down thinking it would rebound and bought another load at $1 and $2. Yeah, this is also, I also tried this when it imploded that it might rebound. I put a little bit more in it, so I did the same move. But ultimately, you just provided exit liquidity to whales that use algorithms to really do their thing, right? So that's also, this is the other thing. If something is correcting and you say, okay, buy the dip, then the question is why. Luna did correct or did go down because Luna was failing, right? So we should not touch this. And we did see, and many people will get wrecked on this, we did see the same with and we're very likely going to see the same with Mix, right? Which seems to be heavily manipulated. Claudio just subscribed. Welcome to the chat. By the way, we have 55 people here. If you could do me the favor to smash the like button, I would really appreciate if we could go above 60 likes with this live stream. That would be amazing. If you enjoy the conversation and so on, then please let me know by smashing up the like button. I would really appreciate that. During the first cycle, did you buy too many coins? I think I did buy too many coins when the cycle was already over. So I was thinking like, yeah, I'm buying into the bear market. So I did buy a lot of coins, and some of them did not, they just did not come back. I think I bought Harmony 1, you remember that coin? I did buy Multivac. I already did buy in that bear market Veracity. And I think one thing that I learned is that patience, I mean, it's in my name, but I can learn more about patience. Patience is key. And if we see this time around at some point, it might be in 2 months, it might be in 3 months, it might be in 12 months. Once we see a bear market unfolding, it's good to lean back and not do anything for a good while and just observe how the bear market is unfolding, I think. This is at least what I take away from this. Luna completely wiped me out, and I still held in my Femex wallet for years and it's done nothing, not even worth selling, tens of thousands gone to less than 1 cent. Yes, exactly. And this is the problem. This is the big problem, right? It can happen. So I think the general rule is taking the initial investment out no matter what at some point, and this point needs to be clear by rule. Is it after a 100% move? Is it after 200%? I don't know. This is for you to decide. But taking the initial investment is key, in my opinion, is absolutely key. To have new money at hand with which you can buy another good opportunity, right? What do you say to Do Kwon? Do Kwon, I think Do Kwon is like he ultimately admitted to everything and now he's going away for good, right? I think I saw something like that. Bernd Donaldson says, I can't wait for this cycle to end. 4 years holding and DCAing. I'm ready to not think about crypto. But if everyone thinks that way, keep in mind, if everyone thinks that way, that got burned in the last cycle, then we will see people exiting very, very early in altcoins. And the question is, how many new people will come into altcoins? And the question is, will people still think that when the altcoins are starting to take off and your portfolio suddenly is huge, are you able to press the sell button then? Or are you going to look at your portfolio and think, but it could 10x? Yeah. Oh yeah, it was stablecoin that I meant instead of ZBCN. Oh yeah. Okay, got it. I was wondering why this chart didn't look that big. Aga Dendro says, I have a feeling that the bull will be held off until the big conflicts are stabilized. Russia, Israel. I don't know. Do you really think that markets care about this? I don't know. And also these conflicts, I mean, the Israel thing that is like going on forever. Russia, I don't know, but it can take long, really long. GG says, I had some really bad coins as well. That's crypto. Pmon, PDEX, QuickSwap, Pickle. I don't even know these. Morning, little bit late. Hey, good to see you, Björn. Yeah, more to the end, right? You grow, I grow. It's the same at Bernard Johnson. I bought my first bag February of 2020, still holding. Who remembers ICP dropping in at $900? Of course I remember that. That was crazy. And I did not buy it, to be honest. So that was good. I did not buy it then. But I think I did buy it so that still like super small. I bought, I think, like $20 of ICP back then, when it was already a big down. And then it went down another like 90% or so from there. That was crazy. I'll just buy BTC only next time around, stack and chill. But you have to see, like everything that we think, like I'm going to, this time I exit for good, I'm going to only buy BTC. Everyone thinks that way. We are not the single genius that thinks that way. Everyone is going to think that way. Pukal Yotr says, woke up late today, but I'll be rewatching. Hope you're all having a good morning, fam. Absolutely, we are having a great morning, guys. Smash up the like button for the great morning. And I quickly wanted to show you something on Ecomi. So this is good. Ecomi posted here. There are plenty of ways to grab Ecomi and join the utility token. So here are all the exchanges that this thing is on, like OKX, Gato, Maxi, Bitmart, Ascendex, Uniswap, Coinbase wallet, Binance wallet, Robinhood wallet. So these are the wallets, right? And I think that's good thing that they are posting about these options, right? But it's also important that they are bringing more options, right? We need more exchanges here for Ecomi. I think that would be best. If everyone buys BTC next cycle, then alts will rip so hard. The market does the opposite of what we do. Exactly. I agree. But the question is if the alts that we hold, if they are surviving. And by the way, it's not only alts, it's also NFTs. You remember this thing? Ether Rock. 4 years ago, this JPEG Rock sold for $2.8 million. So think about being wrecked on your coin. Well, think again about the holders of these early NFTs or of some such NFTs, right? I doubt that EtherRock will ever trade for more than that, where you could. So there will never be profit on that thing, I guess. But who knows, right? Never say never. Who knows? But I'd say also NFTs will come back, as everyone says they won't. So maybe they are going to rip hard as well. But we will see, right? Injective price prediction. I'm 29,000 leverage at 1350. Holy shit. Injective. Play 73 dropped out of top 100. Sorry, out of the top 50. Let's see. Ooh, Injective is looking at approaching big overhead resistance. This comes really down to like short term. This comes down, like there's a squeeze going on here, right? I mean, it's coming up with this trend line, so there's going to be a decision time very, very soon within the next 2 to 3 weeks, where more likely than not, this thing is pumping to the upside. But I would closely observe also the downside here. So I'd observe something like this pattern to determine whether it's going to the upside or downside. And I would probably secure these gains with a stop loss or something. Like if you lose this trend line, there I would say, hey, if you lose this trend line and of course a wick out doesn't count, so it needs to be wick secure. But I'd probably do it that way if this was my situation. But you have to decide for yourself. But I would say if this breaks out, then this could be a really nice trade going on, right? Yeah. Think he means he has a 29,000 size back leverage, 6,000 in profit. Yeah, exactly. Nabro says, what do you think of Pengu? You think it's legit at this point? I think so, yeah. I think it's legit, but still, I mean, it has gone up quite some before. Nigel Gonzalez, welcome. Thanks so much for analysis. My stop loss is in profit, 3x leverage, so it moves like 100K. Okay, crazy. Congratulations. And if this breaks out to the upside, that's going to be insane. But I think you should basically have this open as a chart. I mean, this is the weekly chart, right? But we just had a bull cross here on the stochastic RSI, implying good momentum, right? But watch the overall market, because I mean, if the market for some reason dumps hard, then it's going to dump as well, and then it might break this to the downside. But I'd rather say the chances are higher to the upside. Let's revisit this in 2 to 3 weeks or so to see. And by the way, let us know how it's going. I really believe NFTs will have their day in the sun, right along with game coins and the Dino coins as well, like Dot, Matic, Mana, Sand, LTC, etc. Yeah, I don't know about Mana and Sand, because we'll see, but they're building new stuff, so it's also I like the Cool Cats NFTs. Okay, it's good. I don't even know those. But guys, for today, 60 people watching. Make sure to smash up the like. We should be able to get to the 60 likes right now. I don't know how many likes we have right now. Gala's dead. Yeah, that could be true. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I mean, if people say it's dead, I don't know if it's dead. But we have 60 people watching. We should get to 60 likes right now. Make sure to be subscribed. Notifications on. That is important. Let me also know in the comments below what altcoins I should cover next. And guys, wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one, everyone, and bye. Have a good weekend. Bye.